Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And you'll want to be hitting that like button straight away. We have the story now that Ross Greer, the tiny little boy of politics, is now being investigated by the Holyrood authorities. If you remember recently, he stood and made a big protest about what a big man he was, standing up to the military-industrial complex, the weapons dealers and things like this. And by having this protest outside Holyrood, it turns out that he allegedly helped protesters block the entrances to Holyrood, which is in of itself a crime, because nobody should be disbarred from entering Holyrood. And because he has done that, this has led to this investigation. Now, of course, he thinks he's wonderful. He thinks he doesn't break crimes because he's a very naive, stupid, uneducated little boy. And when the bad man says the big words, the naughty words to him, he runs away to mummy. He goes, Bitty, because that's all he's got. He's got nothing else. He's always in the wrong. Of course he is. He joined the Greens. So there he is, and he's off trying to be the big man, which is the last thing he can ever be. He's such a beater, isn't he? And B-E-T-A, not beater. Well, it probably is. But anyway, he's only in the Greens because Harvey likes him, let's be honest. But anyway, we'll leave that there. We'll have a look at this story. We'll park that other thing. We'll have a look at this story to see why Ross Greer may be in a lot more trouble than he thinks. Here goes. So Ross Greer probed over allegations he helped protesters block entrances at Holyrood. Well, to be fair, he does like a good probe, doesn't he? Especially at his blocked entrances. The Scottish Parliament is understood to be investigating the controversial Scottish Green MSP and Child over his role in protesters blocking the entrances to demonstrate against ADS Scotland for arms dealing. Look at him. What a sop. This is what happens when you don't eat meat. You end up looking like that. He hasn't even got grown-up teeth. He's still got little baby teeth, hasn't he? He's still in the womb, really, isn't he? Anyway, controversial Scottish Greens MSP Ross Greer is thought to be being investigated by the Scottish Parliament over allegations he helped protesters block entrances to Holyrood by sharing information with them. Very serious if he has. One Scottish Tory MSP has demanded he face a sleaze probe if it is found to be true. Absolutely. He can be disbarred for this. We previously told how the politician faced an investigation after boasting about being involved in the demonstration that saw attendees at an event and the Parliament screamed at. Now you're talking, apprentices, young people. And he's sitting there getting a crowd of baying arseholes to scream at, a little more than kids, 17 and 18-year-olds. And he thinks, oh, look at me being virtuous, screaming at children, imposing fear on people. Thing is, if he didn't have his little pack around him, put him in the street. Go on then, Ross. Scream at me. Do it to me. I bet you won't. I bet that little arsehole, which is about that big now, would open to about that big. Honestly, you'd be giving birth to a puppy. We previously told how the politician faced an investigation after boasting about being involved in a demonstration that saw attendees at an event at Parliament screamed at, as we say. Now, ADS Scotland held an evening reception honouring apprentices, but it was marred by the protest. Mr. Greer posted a video on social media of him shouting down a microphone at the event, pretending to be big and hard. And that's as he accused of being a reception for arms dealers, which it wasn't, and screaming about boycotting goods from Israel because he's anti-Jewish, he hates Jews, he's an anti-Semitic, racist little turd. Also businesses that sell products to Israel, as he continues to blame the country for the fighting in Gaza. Does he not realise what the Gazans did to the Israelis, or does he think that that's acceptable? I think in his mind it's acceptable. He'd have done very well at Buchenwald, wouldn't he? Now, this has been brought up in Parliament. He was not named in a discussion surrounding what steps are being taken to make the premises safe for those who want to attend. But sources have confirmed to the Scottish Express that it was him being spoken about. Tory MSP Jamie Green asked the Scottish Parliamentary corporate body whether there'd been any investigation into specific protests and if any of them were facilitated or aided by any MSP or any MSP group. Which we know there is. We've got the evidence. We've seen it. Him standing there pretending to be a grown-up and going, look at me, I've got a big thing. I'm important. I've got a megaphone because I'm important. Absolute wanker. There he is, look. Wanker on parade. Really is. He cited a number of different incidents that have happened, including red paint being thrown over the building last week, the ADS Scotland demonstration, and when FMQs was disrupted 9 times due to shouting from the public gallery. That was the Islamists, wasn't it? SPCB member Claire Barker confirmed it was looking into allegations that pass holders helped protesters block entrances by sharing information. Why is it always little milksops, little, cucks like him? Look at me, I'm so manly. And he's got a right pencil neck, isn't he? Manly my arse. I tell you, he'll be the first to go. And he sits there and he's going like, we're with the Palestinians, we're with the Palestinians. And I said this yesterday. They did this thing in London, and Maya Tusi, and he actually had a Palestinian woman, and he was interviewing her. And they were talking about gays for Gaza. And the Palestinian woman said, oh no, there's no gays in Gaza, we kill them. And yet he's sitting there going, yay, Gaza, yay, suck, like that. Real soy boy, ultimate soy boy. And yet, these are the people that were just hurling him off a building. What a knob. Well, tiny, little. He then added, it's clearly unacceptable that any group or individuals attempt to disrupt the workings of this parliament or bar people from entering or leaving, but we've had a number of incidents, as described by Jamie Green. It's clearly intolerable that any of these activities were aided and abetted by members of parliament. And that it has happened, as we all know that it has happened. It's been boasted about on social media. Ross Greer. And so when these reports that were described become available and their findings, can any breach of the MSP Code of Conduct be published and made available to members? And will the corporate body now establish a precedent? Make it that any reports that they have in relation to MSP complicity in these activities subject to a referral to the Standard Committee of this Parliament. It should be a crime. It should go to the police and prosecute the wee shite. Can you imagine him in prison? Oh boy, would he would love prison, wouldn't he? Oh, he'd have more sex than he'd ever had in his life. And it wouldn't just be with Harvey. Miss Baker responded by pointing to Mr Kerr to the reporting mechanism available to complain about MSP's behaviours, and that this was a matter not for the corporate body. However, she added, we are looking into allegations that pass holders help protesters block entrances by sharing information, but at this point the term is allegations. Yeah, well, we all know it was Greer. We previously told how cops were probing Mr Greer over this incident. A spokesperson for the Scottish Greens said, we have no contact from Police Scotland or the Standards Committee about an investigation. Well, it was also being investigated because of the racial aspect of the things he said. This is over and outside beyond the hate crime bill. This is just general incitement to violence and racial, aggravation. So I reported him, but others reported him. So let's hope that does come to something. But what is it with this little prick? He really is, isn't he? Oh, Mummy, the man's saying the bad words again. Man saying, why didn't you have sex with a real man so I didn't grow up looking like this? Why didn't you feed me meat as a child? What a prick. I absolutely loathe him. And his little pencil neck. And his inability to grow up and be a man. He is such... tell you what he is. He's a student activist at best. And yet he's not even that. He failed being a student. He couldn't even finish a degree. Stunning, isn't it? Coming up. In my previous video, we talked about recall petitions. It's a shame there isn't one. We could get rid of him. But he is gone. He's gone at the next election. Certainly out of power. Oh, we just need to bring it on. But it'd be terrible, wouldn't it? Be terrible if he got something awful happened. But he is. He goes... I don't know how he walks down the street without getting punched. Owen, the other one, the one in London, the old lefty in London, he keeps getting punched because he's a prick. I'm surprised this guy doesn't go around with a pair of black eyes all the time, because he's such an obnoxious tart. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button. Ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And no, don't go hitting him. For God's sake, don't give him that ammunition. Just leave him alone, ignore him, and he'll be like shit on your shoe. If you walk it off fast and far enough, he'll soon disappear. Bye.